Today, we talk about ball pythons that won't eat.
Proper Royals.
Hey everybody, it's Adam at Proper Royals. Thanks for joining me today. We've all had finicky ball pythons. Today we're going to talk about how to get them to eat when they won't eat. I'm excited to tell you we launched the Proper Royals Facebook page, so if you haven't checked us out there, check us out. As always, we really appreciate the likes and subscribes, especially if you learn anything or gain any benefit from the videos that we do on our family hobby here. So thanks so much. I appreciate the support. This is Cleo. Cleo has been my biggest problem eater, and it was a great discussion to share with everybody because as a family, as a pet owner, as a breeder, as a hobbyist, I had to make some decisions. So I will tell you, Cleo is an Enchi yellow belly, and as you can tell, she's a very shy ball python. Believe it or not, Cleo is over a year old. I'll give you the specs on her. Cleo was born in September of 2019. It's now December of 2020. She's 14 months old. I've had her for 5 months. For the first 3 months, she would not eat. Let me give you the backstory of our feeding philosophy here at home. We choose to feed frozen thawed, and we try to do that only, frozen thawed only, for a number of reasons, but primarily feeding a live animal to another live animal wasn't what we wanted to do. No judgment. Of course, there's many ways to get by in this hobby and in this business. So again, no judgment. I'm not really wanting to start a debate on it. It works for us that we choose frozen thawed. Secondly, it works really well for us, frozen thawed. If you've seen the other video that I did, foolproof feeding methods, man, we feed great. 13 snakes there, 12 out of 13 generally every week, unless somebody's in shed or unless there was a really strange or a coincidental time when a snake soiled their tub right before feeding. Sometimes they won't eat when they've just soiled. So in general, it's working out great for us. Also, we live in a rural place, so round trip to the local pet shop for a mouse or a rat is an hour trip. And breeding and raising rodents isn't what we want to do. Frankly, I just want to breed ball pythons. That's all I want to worry about. So the convenience of frozen thawed, they're shipped to the house. Really, they're cheaper in one shot. They're very expensive, but per animal or per rodent, they're very cheap and very practical for us. So for those reasons, we feed frozen thawed at the house. So if you've read the message boards or the Facebook pages or the forums or the Morph Market community, the prevailing thought is when you're trying to get an animal switched over to frozen thawed, tough love, keep at it, make it consistent, make sure it's heated thoroughly, make sure you're thawing it properly, and then, try all the different tricks, the hair dryer, the water bucket. I use my heat lamp and step stool trick for heating my rats and rodents. So we tried everything on that, and after about 3 months of the tough love not working, this girl would not. She would just slink away. She would see that a frozen thawed rodent was put in her tank. I would scoot it on the floor in front of her. I'd make it look as real as possible. I tried leaving it in front of her hide. I tried leaving it on top of her hide. I tried scenting a frozen thawed rodent with a live rodent's bedding. I tried thawing them together. I tried smaller and smaller and smaller sizes. Nothing worked. I left a rat fuzzy, a live rat, in her tub just to get her feeding one time. Day and a half later, I opened to check on her. That fuzzy's curled up right next to her in her hide. I could not believe it. It was the craziest thing I ever saw. Finally, after 3 months, I said, man, this girl has got to eat. So I went and got a small mouse hopper, basically, and she took it right away. No no question. I fed it to her with tongs, thinking, let me get her used to her feeding off of my tongs, and maybe that'll do it. I tried to get very small mice, feed her just a small mouse, and then try and offer her a frozen thawed mouse afterwards. Didn't work. Nothing. So what ended up happening was I talked to my wife, talked to my son, and I said, look, either we have to feed her live mice or we have to sell this girl. She's got to go. And the ethics and the business part have to meet, and they came together. And the fact of the matter is, trying to sell an undersized, underweight, year-old female that won't even eat consistently is not a good look in the marketplace and the hobby. I didn't want to start selling animals based on that, and I didn't want that to be my reputation. And so, again, ethics, morally, business-wise, we said, you know what? We purchased this animal, we invested in this animal, it's our obligation to take care of this animal. And ultimately, that's what I'm here to tell you, is it's up to you to take care of your animal. You can't abandon them, you can't give up on them. You wouldn't do it to a puppy, I hope. So we concluded, we're going to feed this girl mice, we're going to get her up to weight, and if we can breed her, great, or if we want to sell her, then great. But we know that we won't have given up on her. We know that we will have taken the best care we could of her, regardless of our own feelings. She has needs that is an animal and inherent to her nature. Her being our pet is not natural to her. Her being our pet is our choice. So we have to make her life the best that we can, knowing that. So we've elected to feed her live mice. There you go. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. It's about finding what works best for you and the snake, ideally. But if you can't find what works best for both of you, you got to do what works best for the snake. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that helped. I hope that makes sense. Cheers to you wherever you are. I'll keep you posted on this girl. I'm going to do some other videos on her. She's an exciting snake, and she's a big part of my piebald future plan. She is a yellow belly Enchi het pied. We'll take a closer look at her in another video. Thank you again for joining me today. Do the like, the subscribe, and check us out on Facebook. Cheers. Bye.